postcode of the fire triangle. Fuel, oxygen and heat. So if you look at that fire now, we've got our fuel, which is the logs. We've got the heat because it's hot, but the oxygen's not very good. That's why we've got a lot of smoke and not much flame. So doing stuff like this, it introduces oxygen. Now another good thing which I put in my bug out bag is a very, very small, thin chopping board. Car aerials, they're thin, you can blow down it to get oxygen in. So the fire's going, it's damp, it's been raining, it's lots of smoke everywhere. You don't want people knowing where you are, but you really want to get that cup of tea in there. Put some oxygen in there, all of a sudden you've got a fire.
Can you build a fire though without the smoke? Because if you're trying to hide from people and you're hungry...
Yeah. The coat of fire pit. So what we do is we dig out a little pit there, determine the wind direction. Find anything, like a leaf, and we hold it like that and we drop it. All the wind is going in that direction. Like. So you dig your little hole, you dig your big hole, to make a little tunnel there. So the wind will come along and go down there and feed oxygen into your fire. That's hot, and because it's hot, you don't get the smoke. You won't even see the fire, so it'll be below the ground. That's an excellent way to do it. It's called the coat of fire pit. The problem is the wind changes. I'm going to show you the proper way to look after your knife. So basically, all the time it's in the sheath, it's not going to hurt anyone. Okay. The last thing you want to do is to use it, doing all sorts of things like this, and then put it down there and go, right, I need to do that. Oh, it'll fall over. This, luckily, locks in there, so it won't come out. Doesn't rattle. They're really, really good. But if you wanted to have your knife and give it to someone else, so there's 3 of you, only one of you's got a knife. Oh, can I borrow your knife? Don't go, there you go, mate. Don't this way. Take it out of the sheath, turn it around, so it's pointing towards you with the sharp side pointing up. So when you give it to someone and they take it, they are fully aware of the dangers and they're nowhere near the sharp end. Okay, if you've done it that way and they took it, that could happen. I'm not much of a fan with an axe. A couple of reasons why. One is they make a hell of a lot of noise. 2, they're really, really heavy to carry for long distances. 3, they're so freaking dangerous, you wouldn't believe it. You do one little thing wrong and you're not going to cut yourself, you're going to chop something off. If you wanted to, say, take down a tree like that, okay, with an axe, you're going to be chopping that for ages and you're going to lose about all of that sort of material because you're going to be cutting a wedge all the way around and the tree's going to go over. You get a saw, albeit a bit longer than this, it's a lot less calories because all you're doing is these, most of them are pull saws. It's the only cut when you pull it towards you. So don't want to be going like that pushing. You push gently forward and you pull quite firmly coming back. So gently, hard, all the way. And you're going to do it a lot quicker, a lot quieter, and you're going to use a lot less calories sawing down a tree than you would be with an axe. So exactly the same principle arrives when you open these. Oh, you press the trigger down, the button, that releases it, because if you don't, it won't do anything. You press that down and it opens all the way till it clicks. Check that it's locked, right? If you want to be safe, check it that way in case it doesn't go over and chop your hands off. First of all, you make it safe, then you use it. You want to give it to someone, exactly the same thing. Pass it like that. I opted for this.
That's an even bigger one.
I've got a bigger one than you. But yeah, they've actually called it the Silky Big Boy. Right, now if you look at this, this is a serious tool. If you look at that,
good saw.
The teeth on there, they're extra large. So extra large teeth, they're designed for cutting soft wood. So if you're doing like shelter construction, you're cutting, look, it'll easily go through that. And if it's softwood, with those sharp teeth, it goes through there really easy. I can put that into a softwood tree like this, and I can pull one cut and it'll go in about that deep. If you're cutting something, you've got a log on the floor, you want to cut it up, that's okay, but when you get down to there, what's going to happen? You're going to blunt all of the teeth, you're going to get it into the dirt or whatever it is. Good thing about these is if you press that button there, it goes up and it locks up. So what that does is you can still cut to the full, but look where my hand is. So we've got our saw, it's locked, and like I said before, you have to be careful when you handle it and move it around and stuff. So here we have it. We sort of roughly want something like that. So how we do it is, first of all, we make sure it's stable. And like I said, it's a pull cut, so you can hold it any way that you want, but to start off, I hold it in the front. And I just find the place, gentle pressure, and just move it backwards. So you've got a little line there. And yes, you just pull it like that, You notice where my leg is?
You're not putting any pressure on that at all?
Not really. I'm doing it, but yeah, if you got it sturdy, and you just pull it back firmly. That's it.
Yeah, you can see the difference, can't you?
So it's a lot less effort.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation where you need to get a fire going and you haven't got time or you don't want smoke, you need to get to the dry stuff. Guess where the dry stuff is? Right in the middle. So we've got it there like this. So firmly on there, this isn't moving, it's nice and stable. And you just do a little tap. That's in there, okay? And all you do is you just literally just tap it down like this. You see it splitting down there. You can carry on. And it will just pop the whole thing clean in half. So we're just making 4/4 really. So we got it on there. Little tap to get us started. And depending on how the tree is formed, it might twist and go all over the place. There's not much you can really do about that. You've then got the driest piece, which is that piece right in the middle. With your knife, you can literally just run it along there. You can see how sharp these are.
Yeah.
You do this with a blunt knife, it's never ever going to work. Okay. And if you can do loads of thin pieces, the thinner the better. I tend to just find the gentler you go and the slower you go, the smaller little pieces that you can get. And you'll end up with stuff like this, nice and thin. You can literally just push that bit down and literally try and break it off. So you're pushing down and wiggling, and at the same time you're trying to do this to prise it away from the wood. So yeah, you know, so what you could do is you could just get a big pile of that and you put sparks in there and get a fire going.
Yeah.
So how thin and papy that is.
Yeah, it's like good.
Yeah.
So that is just basically
Cigarette paper.
yeah, it's very very fine, like almost paper, and that's from the birch tree, the silver birch.
Yeah.
Now, in my experience doing this for years, that is the best one. And there's another piece there, a bit thicker bit. But that stuff there is probably your best friend when it comes to doing fires if you haven't got anything else. Birch bark is incredible. This stuff is called chaga, which is a mushroom, believe it or not. So it's harvested, very, very hard and very rare to find, but if you do get it and you dry it out, that stuff, you put a spark on there, it will smoulder, and then you put that to stuff like grass, and it will eventually heat up so much, it will catch. Another thing, these ones, cramp balls. You see them growing on dead, dying ash and beech trees.
Yeah.
It's just a mushroom, but they've dried, okay? If you look at the inside, it's very, very fine, and I use the term fibrous.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at is when you've got a spark from your ferro rod or ferrocerium rod, that is so hot, a few thousand degrees centigrade, a tiny little spark. So when it lands on there, if you were to look at it under a microscope, it'd be all jagged.
Yeah.
So when the spark gets trapped in there, it can't go anywhere. You could probably light about 20,000 fires with that, if you know what you're doing. And you can put it in the water, you can get it wet, you can freeze it, you can put it out in the sun, and it will always work. You can probably still smell it, but on there, you can tell by the colour, it's got resin in there.
That's it, it looks like a resin.
Pine resin. And that stuff there, if you burn that, it just burns instantly. And lots of black smoke comes out of it because it's like tar, pine resin. It's a nice smell, and yeah, if you knew what you were doing, you could chop that bit up and you could probably get about 20 fires with just this bit.
Wow.
Or if you're in an emergency, you could use the whole lot and you'll definitely get fire.
So you just use it to light a fire then, you don't use it on the fire?
No, these are all things to start fires.
All right.
Oh, look at that. See what that is?
An insect.
It's a tick. Nasty things. You go and play somewhere else. Grass is always good. So I'll get it like this. It comes in its own sort of lengths. And I just turn it around. So you got that. Okay. Then you got like a round piece in the middle. You can put your thumb in there, give it a wiggle. That's going to be like a little bird's nest is what they call it. Okay. You can just sit that there. Anything that's 100% cotton. You don't want stuff with acrylic or that sort of nonsense in there. Just pure cotton. Like an old t-shirt or something like that. So you've got these pieces here. That's all it is you put into this tin, just chopped up, cut up, ripped up pieces of cotton. T-shirt, jeans are really good. There. So we get this. We're going to open it up. You have to be gentle because it's very, very fragile, okay? It tears really easy. So we're going to put that inside like that. Now if you watch really carefully, so you get it going, okay?
Do that again.
The secret of this is, don't do it 90 degrees, always hold it a little bit that way. What you want to do is, that edge is sharp, right? So you want it to push down and scrape, like you're going to scrape it off, but you do it quickly. And then you get that. So what you're going to do is, you're going to get the spark from this onto that black cloth. It's going to get stuck. And then we're going to add oxygen to glow it, to get it hot. As it gets hot, it's going to get onto this dry grass.
Oh, yeah.
You see the orange on there?
Straight away.
So we come around here. You see that?
Yeah.
Now, who's heard of punkwood before? Right, let's go outside and we'll show you, because it's everywhere. Basically, what you're looking for, see this stuff here? It's basically just damp wood. Right, so something which you can just pull off like this. All right, it's very, very lightweight, and it breaks really easy. And sometimes it just crumbles apart. You can absolutely just find any damp wood like this, break it all off. Yeah, it's just rotten wood. You just pull it off. You can put that in that tin with a hole in it, put it on the fire, that will go black. This stuff will do exactly the same as what I've just showed you with that t-shirt. You're always going to find rotten wood in any forest in the UK, any time of the year, whether it's a heat wave, whether it's Christmas Day. All you need is a metal tin with a hole in it, put it in there, pack as much of it as you can, put it onto a fire, then you watch that hole. Okay, you're going to have smoke come out of it, and eventually it will go to a flame. And when that flame dies down, as soon as that flame's gone out, you take the tin off, do not open it. You have to let it cool. Make hundreds and hundreds of fires. So all we've got there is we've got our tin. So we're going to go around and we're going to find some punkwood, which you just saw earlier. It's everywhere.
So thank you, Tree, for giving us this. Warm.
Well, once it's done, you've got to handle it with kid gloves, like real careful. If you start doing it quickly, it'll just disintegrate and turn to dust.
Maybe that's what's wrong.
Luckily, you've got fireproof gloves, so it doesn't matter with doing this. But don't try this with your bare hands.
Try this home and just on your hands.
Like that. You want to get them coals nice and hot, see? Let me just carefully, he says, put these in there, like that. It might take half an hour. If you're using char cloth, if you've done it optimum, it'll probably take 5 minutes. That's heating up now and it's evaporating. So all of that moisture in that wood is literally getting hot and it's coming out with steam. So what's going to happen is that's going to carry on pumping smoke out of there. And then once the smoke stops, it will immediately turn to flame. Now what we do is we watch it, and as soon as that flame, it gets lower and lower and lower, then we just take it off. You grab it, take it off, sit it down there, forget about it. The secret of this is, before you even open that lid, it's got to be cold, not warm or hot. Like I say, as soon as you take that lid off, the oxygen's going to go in there, you go woof, and then the whole lot just go up in flames. But it's good to see lots of smoke coming out there because it's doing exactly as it should. Another thing, if you're doing tins like this, make sure that they're sealed on their shut. If you've got a bit of air gap around that, it ain't going to work. And that flame will eventually just get smaller and smaller and smaller. And all of a sudden it will go out. That is the time we need to remove it. Yeah, the flame's gone out. So we can take that off. And it's got a good knife as well. If you've got a cheap knife, the end will break off, but I trust this thing with my life, so I've got no problems doing this. There we go. I would say 70% of it has worked. Some of it hasn't. But you can tell by the black bits. What we can do, we can tip it in there and have a look.
Oh yeah, most of it's done, isn't it?
So it's all gone charred like this. Like I say, if you touch it, it's so delicate and fragile, and it'll literally just fall apart. So the stuff that you can use is the black stuff. These stuff, you might be able to get it on one side, but the easiest stuff to use would be the black stuff. So what I think we're going to do is to get you guys doing your own special fires now. So you want to get it, sometimes if you overlap it or something, or might even have to do it like that, that's more better. Put that in there. I would say that bit, just trying to find something that's all black. There's a nice bit there, maybe that bit there as well. You put them in there so it don't move. Like that. That's a good thing to do. And then you've got this as well. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, he's got it going.
When it blow it out?
No. Try and cover it over a bit, that's it. It's starting to smoke, it's good.
Yeah.
You just keep going and keep going. He smokes, doesn't he? That's it, you got the idea. Hold it around there and blow into it because it needs to hold that grass. But don't worry about it too much because you can just literally throw it down there. Okay, so don't worry about burning yourself. Everyone worries. It's starting to. A lot of it's fear for the first time because you think, oh God, there's smoke in my face, there's fire right there. But you just have to just concentrate on making, just keep blowing as much as you can. That's what you do. You blow it, hold it away. Blow it, hold it away. Give a good old lungful. That's it.
Oh wow!
There you go. You just throw it in there. You just made fire, man. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that these things don't fall through the bottom. Once it's smoking, then you need to try and cover it over like that. So it's. She wants to do it down there by the fire. Oh, I think you'll get. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, it's going now. It's going now.
Oh, I think she's ready. Try and just aim for anything black. Oh, that's it. Done it. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need. You've got plenty of time. So what we're doing now, we're just going to cover it over. I'm doing it. Now you can like hold it upside down so it catches.